I'm a new graduate student working... No. It's confusing. Ha! Got it. Okay. Now that that's taken care of.
I'm Amber, and this is Engineering Life. I like watching daily vlogs on YouTube and wanted to find one by a woman in engineering. But I couldn't find one, so I've made my own with the goal of promoting diversity in engineering. It's not all about me. I have guest vlogger engineers to include more voices in this project. And it's not all about engineering. You'll see the everyday life of engineers and the diversity that can exist within this field. I want to encourage everyone to pursue engineering even if they don't fit the stereotypical mold. I'm still figuring this all out, so I hope you'll stick with me. Remember to subscribe and share. Thanks!
This is another week where I don't have a vlog. I have something that has been on my mind a lot, and I just wanted to talk about it and see what other people thought. As I've been going through this first semester or couple months of graduate school, one thing I am experiencing more than basically any other time is that I have questions and I want to ask them, but I'm not sure if they're good enough questions to take to my professor when they come up. I feel like I have a lot of questions, especially right now, because I am learning a new program that I'll be using for the majority of my graduate research and hopefully beyond if I stay in my chosen field. I don't really know the code very well, and the subject matter is new, so a lot of the terminology that you use in code is shorthand. On top of that, it's shorthand for terms that I don't know in the first place. So putting all of those things together and trying to learn how to use this program has been interesting. So that is how I got to the situation that most people are familiar with. When do I ask for help? When do I decide that my question isn't something I can figure out myself quickly enough and still be productive, or if it's something that I'm going to spend way too long trying to figure out by myself when I could have just asked a question and it would have taken someone who knows the answer like 2 seconds to explain it to me. That's where I am most of the time at this point. And so far I've landed on both sides of that question, but those are sort of the two extremes of pestering your professor with every single little question and plowing ahead on your own and bringing back results that are completely useless because you don't know what you're doing, and trying to figure out where you should be in the middle is really hard. So I wanted to have a nice little list of situations where if you met X, Y, and Z criteria and you tried these things, then yes, you should go to your professor. But if you only spent this amount of time on it, or there was only this amount of previous research on whatever it is you're doing, then maybe spend a little bit more time trying to figure it out for yourself. But if that was possible, I probably wouldn't be making this video. Here is what I do think is helpful for me, at least, when I'm trying to decide whether or not I should ask questions. Always, always, always exhaust the resources that you have on hand. In my situation, I have a ton of papers and previous research from students in my lab that I can go to and look through how they wrote their programs and set up their experiments. If I didn't have those, I would be emailing my professor a lot. I think the most important thing to remember is that you are in graduate school because you aren't an expert in your field yet, and you're supposed to have questions. If you knew everything already, you would be a professor or whatever it is you're in graduate school to become. Don't feel bad asking questions. Don't feel like you're going to bother your professor every time you have a question, unless of course your professor has told you that you're bothering them, which I have heard of happening, and then that's really unfortunate and you probably have a lot of other issues than trying to figure out when to ask questions. So that's all I can really say. I feel like at the end of this I am now more confused than I was when I started, but I'm kind of used to that feeling at this point. I hope, if nothing else, this makes other people feel like they aren't alone in being concerned about whether or not they should bother their professor, and maybe helps people know what they're getting into if they're going into graduate school. Thanks for watching, and remember to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, let me know what you think. If you have an actual when to ask questions algorithm, you should let me know because that would be amazing. Or if there are resources that you found that address this in a more academic manner, you should also let me know because academics are great and generally know what they're talking about more than me. Okay, see you next week. Bye.